Hi, it's Maggie, the Irish Gypsy, here to bring you your November 2017 mid-month readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers. Thank you for all your likes, shares, subscribes, your support, your feedback, and your comments are always welcome. Greatly appreciated. Keep them coming. Thank you so much for being there. Of course, a big thank you to all those of you who continue to keep me so busy and occupied with personal readings, both new clients and regular clients. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Thank you so much. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the About button for more information on my contact information as well. I do a wide variety of readings, all different types of spreads, lengths of time, live or recorded, and I do readings 5 to 6 days a week. Full-time, it is what I do. So turnaround time is usually pretty fast, anywhere from a few days upwards of a couple of weeks, almost always within a 2-week period of time. We can set up a reading live or recorded for you. So if you're interested, you can contact me. I'd be delighted to work with you. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also find me on the smartphone app, for those of you with smartphones, the smartphone app Instantgo for 24/7 access to me. That's more just quick questions, quick answers to quick questions. If you have a decision you need to make on the fly, you're not looking for an in-depth or complex reading, or exploring the different layers of something. Quick questions to your more immediate answers via 1 or 2 question options on there, or short little text reads. They have also just added a new video chat option, which is cool, so you can check me out there as well. You'll find my email address and the link to my link on the Instantgo app by clicking on the About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, and you can also find that contact information attached to the description of every video I post. So check it out. I would be happy to work with you. Make sure to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well for additional insight and clarification. You may find sometimes that one of them may resonate a little more predictively for you than your primary sun sign. So try to watch sun, moon, and rising if you know them and if you can, because there's lots of you watching. Of course, it's not going to mean the same thing in the same area of your life to the same degree for everyone watching, because there's so many of you watching and you all have such beautifully individualistic lives. So try to check out all 3 if you can. All right, let's move right into this. This reading is for the air sign of Libra for November 2017 mid-month. Let's see what's in store for our Librans for the last half of November 2017, the last 2 weeks. I'll be pulling 2 cards for each of the remaining 2 weeks with an additional 5th card from the bottom of the deck for overall energy and guidance. Time being somewhat fluid, as I always say. All right, Librans, I'm feeling stressed. Let's see what's going on for you. We have the King of Pentacles, followed by the 9 of Swords. Libra, too much, stop it. We have the 4 of Swords, respite, feeling worn out. I can understand why. With the 6 of Cups. From the bottom of the deck, representing overall energy and guidance, we have the 8 of Swords. 8 and 9 of Swords both. I'm going to pull one more card because I want to see what... Okay, 10 of Wands. All right, I'm getting more as an advice combination for that. All right, Libra. It looks like you guys are really stressed out about something, but feeling like you don't have much of a say in something or a choice, or that you just feel bound, trapped, that you can't make a decision to get yourself out of something or away from something, or that it's not going to change because you don't have the ability to make choices or take action to change it. Some of you, this might be something in connection with your past or family. Could be your immediate family or extended family. Some of you, you may need to take some time out and go visit family or go spend some time with family. Just depends on which side of the scale you're on. Let me just take a look here. Well, the good news, and there's always good news. There's always a positive. I don't ever believe in saying, "Oh, it all looks bad," and this is. But there's the reason we do this. Forewarned is forearmed. That's why we do these readings. So when I pull cards, especially in general readings, and it looks like the time period that we're covering looks maybe more challenging or painful or difficult, I mean, it's not like spirit just sends this out and channels nothing but negative. There's a reason why, and there's always advice and guidance on how to lessen it, reverse it, or negate it, or find a way through it. Because it looks like a lot of you are really stressed out about something and feeling like you don't have the ability or the power or the option of making decisions or taking action to change it. And your advice is that mindset is what's keeping you trapped here. That's what Spirit is saying. And you have cards which indicate that as well. So what is it? We have the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. So Pentacles is earth energy. In the tarot, this is the suit that usually represents as material energy. It can often point to things like money, finances, assets, resources, job, career, property, things we can see and touch and feel that are tangible, or tangible results, efforts we put into something. Very earthy energy. Earth is the element which governs the suit of pentacles, so it reflects in the earthly aspect of our life, typically the material aspect of our life, or it can refer to, finances and our sense of stability and continuity. Kings and queens usually represent individuals who've reached the mastery of their suit. Ideally, although we all have our bad days, ideally they represent individuals or an energy of having grown and matured and evolved beyond the page and the night energy, and they've now reached a point where they're balanced in the energy and characteristic traits of their suit. So in earth, this would be somebody on a financial or monetary level. This is somebody who's probably, comfortable, if not well off, because they're very good at navigating kind of that sort of world. They would know how to work hard, they know how to invest, they know how to save their money budget, and they're at a place where they're enjoying the security and stability that they have because they've worked hard to do it kind of the smart way. They've kind of reached that level of maturity. It can also just represent on an energetic level being stable, secure, reassuring, continuity. It can also represent, as court cards often, but not always, often do, a person, a specific person who's significant to you somehow in your sphere, somebody that you may be experiencing a lot of conflict or definitely stress and anxiety about. So this could be the King of Pentacles would likely represent an earth sign individual, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or someone who strongly manifests the character traits of the King of Pentacles. They could be another sign. Maybe they have a lot of earth in their natal chart. Showing up as a king, which is male, but it's a general reading. It could be male or female. And even in personal readings, when this card comes up as representative of female clients, it can just represent a bit more of a masculine aspect that's coming out in them in whatever subject area we are addressing it. So it's not always quite so clearly defined gender specific. So it can represent, for some of you, whatever the stress, anxiety, worry, staying up late at night, thinking, obsessing about things over and over and over again can have to do with a specific person in your life and what they represent. Some of you, it may not be a specific person, but it may be on an energetic level. Maybe you're worried about money, finances, the rent, the house payment, your job, your salary, whether you're going to keep it or not, feeling that sense of security, stability, particularly in a financial and material sense. On a relationship level, this could represent that although I'm getting less of like that sort of relationship, but on a relationship level, because even though the specifics may vary in whatever area of your life this may manifest in, the energy remains the same. You're stressed out about what represents long-term continuity, stability, feeling safe, feeling reassured, all of that stuff in your life. In love and relationships, you may be, you may feel like the security of your relationship or the stability or long-term success of your relationship is threatened somehow. Financial structure the same way, job, etc. There's a lot of stress and anxiety around it when the Nine of Swords shows up. Way too much. You have the Eight of Swords too. The Eight of Swords is a card about, swords is air energy. And in the tarot, this is the energy of thought, what goes on up in our heads, how we look at things, our perspectives, our perceptions, our belief systems, our ideals, our own personal ideology, our words and our ideas, and how it affects the way that we communicate with the world, with people in the world, with the people around us. It's cerebral, mental, intellectual energy. thought, illumination, clarity, truth, higher education, and learning too. It's all about what goes on up in our heads. So when the 8 and 9 show up, the 8 of, and it's somewhat illusionary energy. The 8, it's one of your crowning cards. Your overall energy represents feeling trapped, held hostage, bound. Everything about this woman in this picture signifies victim, helpless, can't get out. I'm surrounded, or I'm trapped. I'm held hostage. I'm chained to a relationship, a situation, a job, because of fear of what happens if I leave, or duty, or obligation, or loyalty, and I can't get out. I don't have the power. I can't make a decision or take action to remove myself from this, whatever this is. But it's illusionary. This woman, nobody's forced her down on her knees and is holding her there. The chains that are wrapped around her wrists aren't connected to anything or anybody. With a simple twist, they could fall off. She could take that blindfold off, stand up on her own 2 feet, look around, realize the gaps between these swords are plenty wide enough for her to walk through and away from, that she really is the one in control, and that the only thing actually keeping her feeling trapped, held hostage, bound for whatever reasons, is actually the mindset that she has, that she is trapped. She can make the decision to free herself. Not saying that there won't be consequences. Everything comes at a cost, but you are not helpless, bound, held hostage. This 9 of Swords is stress, anxiety, worry, staying up late at night, being in fear, thoughts going around and around, being obsessive about it. Maybe it's interfering with your sleep or your day-to-day life. But this little owl, everything on a tarot card is symbolic. You could spend hours studying just one card. This little owl is sitting on the windowsill, and owls are one of those universal symbols of truth, wisdom, enlightenment, insight, an answer, a way out. It's very close to her. It's almost right in front of her, and she could practically reach out and touch it, implying that this wisdom, insight, clarity, solution, something is right there in front of her, but she's not looking at it. She can't see it. Why? Because she's only focused on the negativity, on the source of her anxiety, fear, stress. Not to say that whatever the source of your anxiety, this emotion is invalid, but the 8 and 9 of Swords shows up when you've built it up to be bigger and worse in your head than is actually reflected in the reality of the situation itself. Too much obsessive thinking, too much negativity, which means that the more you focus on it, the more it's going to grow, and you're feeling trapped, held hostage. The antidote to this is movement, is taking yourself out of it, is actually, since thought is put you here, actually using thought to get you out of it, and motion, practical thought. Okay, what's the reality of this situation? What are the answers? Well, I can do this, this, or this. You choose a path and you move on it. That's what's going to take you out of this energy. You do have the power to change this, to find a different way, or to remove yourself from it. Some of you may want to do that, even if you feel like you don't. Spirit is obviously saying, because that's what it means when these cards show up, and that's what I'm feeling. The biggest thing that's keeping you, for those of you for whom this reading is going to resonate, not everybody, it's not going to resonate for everybody, but those of you for whom this resonates, the biggest thing that's keeping you in this stressed out, fear, trapped, I can't make a change, I can't break out energy, is you yourself, your own head, your own thought process. You can always choose to find an answer, find a solution, or if absolutely that fails, then to remove yourself from the relationship, the situation, the job, find another one. It may take some time. Certainly don't quit one job without having another one to go to, because that's not practical. But there's always a way through or out and away. Always. And everything has a consequence. So if you're not prepared to deal with that, then you're not ready to make decisions to change the situation. But it looks like it's significant for you. And you have 3 swords, 1 pentacle, 1 wand, 1 cups. If it wasn't for the 2 extra swords, you'd have an even scattering of energy. So this really could be whoever's watching. It could be in job and work, it could be in love and romance, it could be in a creative or artistic part of your life or spiritual path, but all the air energy, all this thought, all the thought around it is obsessive and negative, and that's what you can change, because the more you feed into that, the more it grows. So it's about getting away from that, whether it's stress and anxiety about this specific person, or energetically what this represents: stability, continuity, reassurance, long-term success, finances, money, job, or relationship, or it could be a combination of all of those. There's too much stress and anxiety. And the fact that the 8 and 9 of Swords has shown up, on the one hand, it does say, oh, there's all this negative energy there, but it's all in your head. But on the other side, there's the positive aspect of those cards when they show up, which means that this is internal, which means you can change it internally. What's actually keeping you bound and held hostage, it's not the external stuff that you think it is, it's your own mindset, which means that you have more power, lots of it, than you think you do. So be vigilant against this, Libra. You are an air sign yourself, and it's all about clear thinking. That's what's going to have clear, practical, logical thinking, planning, and action, which is going to take you out of this. But you really need to get some rest, take better care of yourself. You may want to just take a break from this temporarily, because we have, around the last week or so of November, the 4 of Swords and the 6 of Cups. The 4 of Swords, more air energy here. Worn out, tired, exhausted, overwhelmed. That's what this card can represent. It also represents rest, respite, restoration, and taking a break, because that's what this soldier is doing. He's a soldier. You can tell he's got his armor on. He's girded for battle. He's got these 3 swords pointing down at him, challenging him, maybe representing a battle. His own sword is close by his hand should he need it. But for the time being, this little space and time, he's withdrawn from battle. He's withdrawn from conflict. The implication is that he's not completely done, because he hasn't taken all his armor off or anything. So he may be having to go back into it. But this is about taking a time out to rest, recharge, recuperate, recover, and maybe get a different perspective, a different outlook, a different way of looking at this, so you may find a different way of dealing with it. This could also include being on your own, or going off, taking a break, and seeking out insight, guidance, wisdom from somebody whose opinion that you trust. So it's about taking time out to take better care of yourself, just get a break from it, particularly mentally, and maybe seek out some advice and guidance. It's attached to the 6 of Cups. Cups is water energy, and in the tarot, the suit of Cups represents the energy of emotion, feelings, also relationships. The 6 of Cups is a card strongly associated with the past, reminiscence, nostalgia, looking back. It can represent the long ago past, like childhood, roots of origin, your family. It can also represent travel, so it could be travel back to see parents, relatives, where you grew up. Now, this combination of cards could mean 2 different things, and it's going to, because there's so many of you watching. For some of you, it could be that family is the source of, it could be somebody within the family system, this King of Pentacles, that's the source of all this anxiety. It could be, it could be your partner, husband, anything, or business, finances, that's the source of all this extreme stress and anxiety. So for some of you, it could be that that's what you need to take a break from, particularly if it's about family, childhood, past. I think for a lot of you, there's a strong suggestion here, maybe about getting away, maybe going to see your parents, or going to see your relatives, or maybe taking a break, taking a little vacation, or a jaunt down to where you grew up. The 6 of Cups is also about how we think of things, reaching out to other people, communicating with other people, reaching out and giving of ourselves in a way that children do. Before we became so consumed and obsessed with all the stuff that grown-ups do, looking at things through a more, childlike way, both in giving and receiving, and in reaching out and connecting with other people as well. It looks like, it could be too, and one of the ways of getting out of ourselves is, even temporarily, is to go and help somebody else. I have things that I do in my life that are part of doing this, and also part of giving back energetically, feeding the homeless, and whatever your thing is, that can help take us out of our own space, our own petty stuff, our own just drama. So it could be that a recommendation. Definitely it's about taking better care of yourself and taking a time out, a reprieve, whatever that might mean for you and whatever's practical for you. Getting away if you can. If you can't take the time to do that or don't have the money or resources to take a little vacation right now or go back to see family, make a phone call, connect, and carve out some bits of time during your day or during your schedule in which you can do that, and maybe reconnect a little bit more regularly with nature too. So your crowning energy was that Eight of Swords, and I also pulled an additional card, which is the Ten of Wands. This is about burdens coming to an end. Wands is fire energy, and it's the energy in the tarot of manifesting, creating, building. It's about change, movement, action, power. The Ten of Wands, tens are culminations. 10 represents the end of a cycle. This man is carrying this burden. I feel like he's been carrying it for quite some time, but he's almost at the end. His head is up. He's looking at his destination, this place where he can lay this weight down, stand up, and take a deep breath. It needs to come to an end. It's too heavy. You're worn out, tired, exhausted, all of this stuff. There's a way through. There's an answer. There's insight, or you can remove yourself from this. It's about coming to an end. Some of you may be very close to this. Some of you, this Ten of Wands, like the Four of Swords, it can be just feeling tired, burdened, overwhelmed. It's too much, and it's like physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress. Whatever it is, it looks really challenging for you, but all of these cards are still this underlying energy, Libra. You need to get out, get away. You definitely need to get out more. I'm going to pull just a couple more cards off the top of the deck. The Queen of Swords, more clear thinking here to battle the thoughts that you have, which can tend to be really irrational when we overthink things. We can start getting obsessive and not reality-based in our thinking, especially when we're making things, every time we think about it, it gets bigger and worse. And then the Three of Cups, which is a social card. It's a card of getting out, having a good time, connecting with your friends. Not just any friends, but friends who get you, like your close sisterhood, brotherhood, kinship friends, getting out, having a good time, socializing, laughing. And then the Nine of Pentacles, independence, self-sufficiency, self-empowerment. If it's a relationship, you may want to consider taking a break for a while. If it's a job, career, you may want to consider taking a little bit of time off. Again, if you can't, if it's not practical for you to do that, then there's other ways of trying to carve out little niches of time, things you can do on your time out or time off. Underlying, if whatever the situation is, be it a job, a relationship, family dynamics, whatever it is, it looks like it's the source of such a burden, such a feeling of weight, burden, responsibility, exhaustion, stress, anxiety, fear. You may want to consider over the long term, finding a way to, if it can't be fixed or solved, to remove yourself from it or somehow alleviate the sense of burden, because I'm showing that there's a path through, and you may want to seek guidance and feedback from someone that you trust. I'm going to end the reading here because we're kind of getting on in time, and I'm trying to make my videos just a little more efficient in time, which I know is sometimes always a complaint with people. This is too long, the intro's too long, you know. We all do our best. So, Libra, that pretty much wraps up your November 2017 general reading. I hope that it has been useful for you. And I suppose you could look at it, it's, you know, sometimes I get comments, as I'm sure other readers do, oh, that was so negative. I always try and present the positive aspect of it. There's always feedback and guidance too. Whatever the source of your stress is, it looks like the stress is pretty high, Libra. But it also looks like you're building it up to be worse than it is as well, and that you're considering yourself as not having choice when in fact that you do, which is great because Spirit is saying you do. There is a path through here. You need to take some time off. You need to get out and laugh and have fun. Maybe go hang out with your friends, do something fun, get away if you can, get some insight, clarity. Maybe even think about removing yourself from the situation if you can't find a way to modify it. So thank you very much for watching, Libra. I love you, Libra. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December 2017 general readings. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on that About button for all the information, all my contact information as well. You can also find my contact information attached to the description of every video I post. I will see you all again soon, Libra, and until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.